And that was the easiest way that I found myself to get unconditioned. And I may go to an extent that probably even my past life conditionings were just dropped out so easily in the process of healing that I had a privilege to conduct on the basis of his blessings. Nothing that I was doing, it was an absolutely an action of non-doing from my part. I didn't know anything, I didn't do anything. It was just let go, and whatever happened, just happened.
Now after 21 years you are still with Bhagwan. Does he have still things to offer to you? You're still with him?
Yeah. The question is, you have to know how I have been with him.
Will you tell us?
Yeah. The first thing was that when as I told you that this was my business and I was searching and I found that somebody is there. And I remember in one of the earlier meeting, when we were gathered in a small group, and the group was asking him that why don't you lead us? And then it will be easier for us to follow you and arrangements can be made and all those things, because he was just a professor and he was moving around the country on his own. So his answer was very clear. He says, you are not my follower, I'm not your leader, and if you follow me, then your difficulty will be that you will have to run after me because you are not capable of keeping pace with me. And then if you can't run, you will ask me to stop, because the way in which I want to move, then I can't move. So in both ways which we will be not helping each other. But it's better to take it like this, that we are just a walker on the road, on the path together. For a while we are together, when we are together, we are together. And where we separate, we just separate. You go your way, I go my way. And we are thankful to each other for the time we have been together. So with him, I went with an open mind. Though I am from the East, my approach has been basically of the West, because I have been educated by the Western methods. So everything I reason out, question, I heard him. After hearing him in 64 and 65, I think by the end of 65 or early 66, I once met him in Pune in some friend's house and told him clearly that I have understood what you have to say, I have heard you, intellectually I have understood you. But you say that the real test is in experiencing it. And the experiencing can happen in your meditation camps. So hereafter, I am interested only in your meditation camp and hearing you no more. Because then I can know what you say is true or not, without which I cannot further go. And it so happened that I was out for my government jobs in Delhi and I was not so much in contact with him, but from 68 onwards, when I came to Gujarat, I attended his camp in Nagal Sibir, and thereafter my continuous association with him went on. And in the very first meditation camp that I attended there, he asked very clearly to instruction also that I've invited you to live, not to hear. So just be here and live. Don't communicate with anybody else. Be in the seashore and here near the trees and enjoy yourself. Be silent completely. For 3 days, keep yourself to yourself, meditate. And he gave certain instructions how to live during those 3 days. I followed them. And I got such a peaceful experience out of those 3 days meditation camp that when I returned back to my office, my income tax office in Ahmedabad, and when my other colleagues saw me, they realized that the way in which I was talking was different. There was a definite effort, and it was almost a silence, even that they could catch it. And I could myself feel it constantly, the experience of silence that I got in that meditation camp. With the process, I went more into it, and during that time there wasn't sannyas. It was simply meditation that was being conducted. So in '69, I made another experiment, of which he was normally advocating at that time, was 21 days silence. In 21 days you are completely secluded, you are in one room, you have no contact with anybody else. Your food and everything is, at the appointed time, comes at the door of your room, which you subsequently open and take it. And you remain 21 days entirely to yourself. But in my experiment, he had made two changes. He told me that I could do a dynamic meditation, which he had by then started. And another thing, he said that I should go for 45 minutes walk in the morning as well as in the evening, but should not contact anybody. My eyes should be touching, seeing the tip of the nose so that I don't collide with anybody, and no talk by gesture, even to anybody. So that 45 minutes, twice in the morning and evening, I go out. The rest of the time, I am entirely in my room, and I am not to read, I am not to write, I am not to hear, I am not to see. Means all the senses, in short, 5 senses, which draw us outside, has to be stopped going out, and just you meditate and be inside. Now that experience was my first really a sound experiment of getting into meditation. That gave me, these 21 days, gave me a good test of how the entire mind works. What are the tricks that the mind plays with us? And after the mind has become silent, how you feel yourself and know yourself. I remember another thing, that in India it was in hot summer, without the fan I was staying in that room, and normally when I take any, in my office even I go, I may drink anything to a couple of glasses. During the course of my conducting in the office, I'll drink, and even in the office itself I must be drinking water at least of 10 to 12 glasses. During that silence period, for the first time I realized that my whole day drinking of water, even in that summer, got reduced to a glass or a glass and a half. Even after meal, normally I'll drink a glass of water. I was not even drinking water. And for the first time, it gave me a clear indication that lot of my intake of water and food was basically on account of psychological factors and not my physical need of the body. In that silence, the people who were looking after me and who were staying outside, certain thing, whatever they thought about me, even I could catch it during that silence period. It was an astounding thing after 21 days was over, and when we just talk about, and certain things in my office was being planned against me, and certain things were happening and they were knowing it, they had not communicated to me. But whatever they thought and whatever the communication they got, some or the other, those thoughts were caught by me. So all those experiences really helped me. And my approach with him has been like that, as he says, you experiment and experience, and after experience has become yours, you further experiment and go on. So from that day onwards, with him, my journey has been on and on and on and on. I've experimented quite a lot of things. I've gained so much experience, and with that experience, I've further moved forward. I was connected basically on what I've said